Hello. What is of greatest importance, prayer to God or meditating on what we know of God?
Sister, meditation is a prayer. You see, for most of us, actually, realistically, there are different stages of prayer. As far as we are concerned, we think using set words, to talk to the Lord is prayer. Now, the question arises, do we need words to put anything in front of Him? If He's all pervading, if He's all knowing, then what am I saying? Now, because of my own limitations, I'm using these words. But He knows everything. So I don't need to remind Him. If He forgets or He doesn't know, then how can He give me? If He has the power to give, He should also have the power to know. If He doesn't have the power to know, how can He have the power to give? So the best prayer is the silent prayer, where we sit in silence thinking of Him and trying to merge our limited self into that ocean of love. That is the best prayer. Rather than using set words. Sister, when you use words, you limit yourself. It's like somebody asking you, explain to me love. Now, the moment you start using words to explain love, you're limiting yourself. Because the intensity of that emotion can never be explained by words. It has to be felt, it has to be experienced. So, similarly, we have to experience the divine. We don't need to ask Him, we don't need to tell Him, nothing. We just need to experience Him within ourselves.
ਰਾਸਮ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਪੂਰੀ ਇਮਾਨਦਾਰੀ ਨਾਲ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦਾ ਪਰ ਨਿਸ਼ਕਾਮ ਭਾਵਨਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਦੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਰਿਸਪੌਂਸਿਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਫਿਰ ਮਾਲਕ ਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ
ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਸ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਜਾਾਂਗੇ ਪਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਸ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਏ ਨਾ ਫਿਰ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੁੱਛਾਂਗੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਬੇਟਾ ਫਿਰ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਹੀ ਮਾਲਕ ਦਾ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਚੰਗਾ ਮਾੜਾ ਫਿਰ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਫਿਰ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਨਿਕਲ ਗਈ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਹੀ ਨਿਕਲ ਗਈ ਫਿਰ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਫਿਰ ਚੰਗਾ ਬੁਰਾ ਤਾਂ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਬੇਟਾ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ
Awesome, Babaji. Babaji, we've heard it before in theory or in different written passages that the present moment is all that we have, is all that there is, and I suppose everything else is just in our mind, really. It's something, it's like an idea that I used to think about a lot since I was much younger, and even like, my teenage years. And because I suppose maybe it intrigued me so much, I always would try to concentrate or get to the moment where I was trying to, be at one with that present moment. And it led me to an experience once that I suppose was it was too intense to hold on to, or I suppose a bit overwhelming maybe as well. But in that, what seemed like the kind of present moment, it just seemed like there was no individual movement. It was just like one big evolving kind of choreography. Like, there was no individual movement, like just a collective, I suppose, choreography unfolding. Is there anything, Babaji, you could comment about us and our link to the present and being more present in the present and maybe that experience?
Brother, first and foremost, I would request that we should not intellectualize all this, Life is very simple. We complicate it, we intellectualize everything, and then, it gets so complicated, we don't know what to do. Now, the past is gone, it's finished.
Yeah.
Remember the past so that we don't make the mistakes again. Future, we don't know. Future still has to come. So this is the moment that you are living in. And that's what you have to make the most about. It's as simple as that. Now, my own thoughts, my perspectives, my concepts, if I bring them into it, I'm just going to complicate everything. So let's live the moment. Let's see what is in front of us. Make the most out of that. The guiding point is that I have a certain goal. I have certain priorities in my mind. I've got a purpose for which I've been given this human birth. I should remember that, and that should help me to take my decision as to what is the way forward. That's about all I need to do. So if I complicate all this stuff, beta, it's just going to create a bigger burden on me. And I will end up just going around in circles without knowing what to do.
Probably on the idea then that of complication, and it might be another complication that I'm creating, but in the process of meditation, it just seems to feel like it's quite a fine balance between trying to concentrate and I suppose letting yourself go as well. Is that the
In
right?
meditation, there's nothing that you have to do. You start your Simran and just let yourself go. Everything else will happen automatically. Now, if you think that you can reach somewhere or you can do something, you are sadly mistaken. With our strength, with our, let's say, intellect or whatever it is, you can't even take one step forward. So don't even try to bring your intellect or think that intellectually you'll make sense or with your strength you'll be able to make progress. You can come here lifetimes together and still not be able to do anything. So we are in the process, through our meditative process, just untying the string. Like a balloon is tied down. So it just keeps on going left and right. But the moment you untie the string, it'll start going upward. So these attachments have tied us down. We are just untying those strings. And as we sort of untie the strings, the consciousness will automatically start moving up. The natural inclination of the consciousness is towards the eye center. We have weighed it down by our desires, by our karmas, by our thoughts. So the moment you remove this covering, it will automatically start going upward. That's all you need to do.
राधा स्वामी बाबा जी, थैंक यू बाबा जी, मेरे को हिम्मत देने का कि मैं यहाँ आके आपसे कोई क्वेश्चन कर सकूँ। बाबा जी, मैं सत्संगी फैमिली में जन्म हुआ था मेरा, लेकिन मेरे पिताजी नॉन वेजिटेरियन खाते थे। पता नहीं उनसे ये मेरे में क्वालिटी आ गई या जो भी है, जिसकी वजह से घर में भी कभी बहुत प्रॉब्लम रहती है, क्योंकि मेरी जो वाइफ है वो प्योर वेजिटेरियन है, सिख फैमिली से बिलोंग करती है, और उसकी वजह से बहुत झगड़े भी हो जाते हैं कई बारी। बाबा जी, समझ नहीं आ रही, मैं मन से तो छोड़ना चाहता हूँ लेकिन हो नहीं पा रहा। मतलब थोड़ी सी आपसे शायद डांट की ज़रूरत है। और
बेटा, किसी को दुख देके हम अपने सुख की नींव रख सकते हैं? बेटा, आप क्या समझती हैं जब उनका कत्ल किया जाता है, और किस लिए? आपके स्वाद के लिए।
जी
4-5 मिनट का स्वाद होता है बेटा, उससे आगे तो नहीं चलता।
जी
तो हमारे स्वाद के लिए किसी को कत्ल किया जाए, उसको दुख हो, उसको पीड़ा हो, और हम सोचते हैं कि उसके साथ हम अपने सुख की नींव रख लेंगे। बेटा, ग्रेवयार्ड जाने कोई अच्छा लगता है किसी को?
नहीं बाबा जी।
हैं? तो ये ग्रेवयार्ड नहीं बना हुआ हमने अपनी जिस्म को बनाया हुआ, जहाँ हम मरे हुए जानवरों को बार बार बीच में हम डाल रहे हैं।
जी
बेटा, हमें सोचना चाहिए, क्योंकि हम किसी भी, बेटा, मजहब को ले लें, किसी को दुख देना, किसी को तकलीफ देनी तो मनाही है ना।
जी
अब हमने अपना तर्जुमा निकाल लिया कि जी वो तो सिर्फ इंसानों के लिए था, मगर आत्मा तो हर एक चीज में है ना।
जी
तो अगर हम सुख चाहते हैं, अगर हम मन की शांति चाहते हैं, तो जितने कम कर्म होंगे तभी तो हम अपने मन को काबू करके सुख की तरफ लेके जाएंगे। और अगर मैं 24 घंटे मेरे कारण कत्लेआम हो रहा है, तो क्या मैं सुख हासिल कर पाऊंगा? मैं
जी थैंक यू बाबा जी। राधा स्वामी।
Babaji, I found my motivation lacking in this path. I'm not able to meditate, although I try many ways through which I can increase my time, but I'm not able to succeed in it. Please guide me.
beta, how can anybody else motivate us, beta? We have to motivate ourselves, because the recipient is going to be you. Whether you get something out of it or you don't get something out of it, it's all going to be you. Now, everything in life is need-based, right? We feel the need to be clean, we go and have a bath. We feel the need to sustain our bodies, we go and eat food. Similarly, when you start understanding why you need that meditation, why you need spirituality, you will meditate for yourself. We need better. Meditation doesn't need us. We need that meditation. We need the support of that creative power because the pressures of life, our responsibilities are so intense that unless we don't have a strong anchor, we will lose our way better. So we have to motivate ourselves. Now, many times you will see whether you are hungry or not. When it's lunchtime, do you go and eat food or not? It doesn't depend upon your hunger, but still you go and eat. So similarly, beta, we need this meditation. I think somewhere we are not understanding why we need to meditate. And when you understand it, you will meditate for yourself.
Thanks.
Babaji, when a Satsangi reaches the end of their life, but has not withdrawn into meditation above the eye center, then does their soul have to return into this world again?
Depends upon your attachments. If there are attachments, those attachments act like a magnet pulling you back. If there are no attachments, then with His grace, He will create such circumstances that we are able to finish our karmas and we don't have to come back.
Awesome, Babaji. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak in front of you. And thank you for blessing me with a great family and friends. So my question is, after giving 100% in exams and interviews, I often find times where we do come across failures. And I just wanted to know, how do you create a positive mindset for yourself? And if we were predestined to fail, how do we go about changing our destiny and succeeding with our hard work and dedication?
You know, there's the story of Abraham Lincoln, that at every stage of his life he saw failure, but he never gave up and went on to become the president of United States. You know, whether it was in his law practice, whether it was in local elections, whether it was in his bar selection, he just kept on failing. But he never gave up. Now, how do we know that when you don't get something, he doesn't have something better in store for you? Do we know that? Now, look, it's like you've applied for a job. You get it. Okay. Now, for some time you are happy. But for the person who doesn't get it, a better job comes along, he applies for that and he gets it. If you hadn't got the first job, you would have applied for the second one. So we really don't know. So what is important is that we do our best. We put in our effort and leave the results to Him.
Thank you, Babaji.
Babaji, my question's difficult to articulate, but I'll do my best. I've had this increased awareness lately of this thing about divinity, and that divinity is not just within me, it's everywhere. And then, catching glimpses of that in nature, in animals, and other people. And it feels as though there's the meditation practice, which is one, but then there's also the experience of being in the body and going through that self-realization, that exploration. And whether it's the meditation practice that brings about that awareness of divinity, or whether it's something that they run side by side. So effectively, I'm practicing the meditation, but I'm also being fully present in the body to go through the experience of being human, to go through my destiny. So my karma. Because otherwise it feels as if it was just the meditation. I would be in my head all the time, rather than I've been given this body to obviously experience other things, other purposes in life. So I suppose my question is, are the two, do they run side by side, or is it really meditation that brings about that awareness?
Well, sister, you're absolutely right. Meditation is only to help us to focus. Okay. Now, when you are focused, then comes the realization. Because if you are not focused, you're not going to realize anything. You can just miss it as you're going through life. So that focus helps us to that realization. And what is that realization? That the Lord is there in every particle of this creation. And we have to reach that stage of consciousness where you feel His presence in everything. In the plant, in the animal, in everything. You know, Maharaji always used to say the Lord loves us through His creation. So we have to see Him through His creation. And that will come about, like you said, awareness. Meditation helps you to increase that awareness, where you start seeing Him in everything and feel helpless, loving the Lord through His creation.
So it's not wrong for me to feel this awareness of wanting to be more in touch with divinity around me.
No, it's you see, the natural inclination of the consciousness is towards its true self. So it's something very natural which is drawing you. What is preventing us is a karmic load. You know, it's like a piece of iron. It's attracted to the magnet. You put that piece of iron in front of the magnet, automatically it will go and touch the magnet. But you put some load on top of it, the pace becomes slower. You put more load, it can't move. So as we are removing these coverings, we are realizing our true potential. We are becoming more aware of that love around us.
Thank you.
बाबा जी, बचपन से ही पेरेंट्स के कारण ब्यास से हमेशा रिलेशन रहा है। हर साल जाने को मिलता था और पूरा बचपन बड़े महाराज जी की शिक्षा में बीता। जब शादी हुई तो वो एक अलग परिवार था, उन्होंने किसी और से इनिशिएशन ले रखा है। उनके कहने में बहुत ही नेक परिवार है, कभी वर्ल्ड रिलेशंस में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आई, ना मुझे ना शायद उनको भी। पर अब मेरा खिंचाव हमेशा आपसे रहा है, मेरे पेरेंट्स के कारण और मेरे कारण भी। तो अब अगर मैं अपने लिए मेरा सवाल ये है कि अगर मैं अपने लिए अलग एक रास्ता चुनना चाहती हूँ, आई वॉन्ट समथिंग मोर फॉर मी। शायद वो स्पिरिचुअलिज्म में मुझे नहीं मिला जो बचपन से सुना था। क्या मैं स्वार्थी हो रही हूँ या अलग एक छत के नीचे रह के क्या अलग एक मत हो सकता है मेरा?
क्यों नहीं हो सकता बेटा? परिवार में सोच तो अलग अलग होती है सभी की। अब है कोई परिवार जिसमें सारे जीव एक तरह सोचते हैं? हर एक का अपना अपना पर्सपेक्टिव तो होगा ना
जी।
तो बेटा ये हर एक इंसान का अपना रिश्ता है मालिक के साथ, ये पारिवारिक रिश्ता नहीं है। हर एक आत्मा का अपना निजी रिश्ता है बेटा। अब ये अच्छी बात है कि आपके पास अच्छा परिवार है, आपको कदर करनी चाहिए। ये कहीं नहीं लिखा कि हमारा रास्ता ठीक है और दूसरों का गलत है। अगर आप चाहती हैं कि वो आपके सोच की कदर करे, आपको उनकी सोच की कदर करनी चाहिए। मगर आपने कौन सा रास्ता अपनाना है ये आपके ऊपर मुनस्सर है। क्योंकि बेटा जब तक कंफर्ट लेवल नहीं होगी ना, मैं नहीं कहूँगा कि कोई भी रास्ता माड़ा है, क्योंकि लक्ष्य तो हर एक का एक जैसा है बेटा। गॉड रियलाइजेशन, मालिक की प्राप्ति, कोई अलग अलग रास्ता तो नहीं किसी का, मगर अपना अपना कंफर्ट लेवल होता है। तो जहां इंसान का कंफर्ट लेवल है उसी के ऊपर उसे चलना चाहिए। कंफर्ट लेवल होगा तो हम निभा पाएंगे, नहीं तो हमारे से निभाया ही नहीं जाना बेटा।
जी, अगर मैं उनको समझाने के लिए क्या मैं उनकी स्पिरिचुअलिटी, उनकी फिलॉसफी को क्वेश्चन कर सकती हूँ? व्हाट वुड इट बी रूड ऑन माई सेल्फ, या इम्पर्टिनेंस तो नहीं होगा वो?
बेटा देखो, आप स्पिरिचुअलिटी और पॉलिटिक्स दो चीजें हैं जो कभी भी आप लफ्जों के साथ किसी को नहीं समझा पाएंगे। हर एक की अपनी सोच है। सो हमें कभी भी बहस में नहीं पड़ना चाहिए, क्योंकि अपना अपना विश्वास है ना। और जब तक हम खुद उस रास्ते पे चल के हमारा विश्वास या हमारी नींव पूरी तरह नहीं बनेगी तो हम दूसरे से क्या प्रश्न करेंगे बेटा?
जी, तो और इस सब कंफ्यूजन के बाद क्या मुझे आपसे बख्शिश मिलेगी?
नहीं, ये तो आपके ऊपर मुनस्सर है। लाइक आई सेड, आपका कंफर्ट लेवल है बेटा।
जी, थैंक यू।